You want to know why your life feels heavier than it should? It's not the world. It's not your job. It's not even the people around you. It's your mind. You've been feeding it junk thoughts for years. A mental diet of complaints, overthinking, and imaginary problems that never existed outside your head. You scroll, you compare, you envy, and then you wonder why your soul feels like it's running on low battery. Marcus Aurelius said it long before your therapist did. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Simple, brutal, and completely ignored by almost everyone. Because it's easier to blame the economy than to face your own reflection. It's easier to curse the algorithm than to admit you've built a cage out of your own expectations. And it's much easier to call yourself a victim of circumstance than to realize you're the architect of your own misery. Marcus understood that, and he ruled an empire. Wars, betrayal, famine, death. And still, he found time to write about peace. Meanwhile, you lose your mind because the Wi-Fi drops for 10 seconds. That's the difference between wisdom and drama. One accepts life as it is, the other tries to bargain with it. And every time you say, "Why me?" the universe shrugs and whispers, "Why not you?" Your thoughts are like a DJ at the party that is your life. If you let a drunk, bitter, insecure DJ run the booth, don't be surprised when every song is out of tune. But change the playlist, even slightly, and suddenly, everything sounds different. No, it's not easy. No, it's not instant. But it's necessary, because no one's coming to change the music for you. Not the government, not your friends, not the stars. You keep waiting for alignment, as if one day, all planets, emotions, and bank accounts will magically sync, and then you'll finally start living. But Marcus knew better. He lived through plagues and politics, and still managed to keep his sanity intact. He didn't wait for motivation. He didn't wait to feel ready. He simply acted, because to live is to act. And that's where most people fail. They want to feel like doing something before doing it. But life doesn't care about your mood swings. You don't brush your teeth because you're inspired. You do it because the alternative stinks. So maybe stop waiting for the mood to hit and start moving anyway. Because the longer you wait, the heavier life becomes. You think the world owes you peace? No, it only owes you one thing, death. The rest you have to earn. And you earn it by disciplining your mind, not decorating your excuses. Marcus didn't meditate to escape reality. He meditated to confront it. He didn't write to sound wise. He wrote to stay sane. And maybe that's what you need too. Less pretending, more confronting, less noise, more silence. Because somewhere between your self-pity and your potential, you forgot something simple. You were never meant to control the world. You were meant to control yourself. You keep trying to control everything. Your future, your image, your reputation, your timing, your relationships, your outcomes, your emotions, your destiny. Everything. And every time reality refuses to obey you, you fall apart like a cheap chair from a discount store. The truth is simple. You don't suffer because life is cruel. You suffer because you still believe you're in charge of things you were never meant to touch. Marcus Aurelius figured this out while running an entire empire. But somehow you still haven't figured it out while running your bedroom. You try to control how people see you. Good luck. Half of them don't even see themselves clearly. And you expect them to see you? You try to control what people think about you. Impossible. People don't think. They project. Their opinions of you are just reflections of their own unfinished stories. But you take it personally. Every comment, every look, every silence. As if the world was created to evaluate your performance. Here's the punchline. You're not the main character in anyone else's story. You're a background extra with maybe one line. So stop acting like the universe has you under review. Marcus said, choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Not because the world is safe, but because most wounds exist only in your mind. You think someone offended you? No. Your ego got a scratch and started screaming. You think someone disrespected you? Maybe. But maybe they're just tired, angry, stressed, or dealing with demons you don't see. Not everything is about you. Almost nothing is about you. Your problem isn't that life is hard. Your problem is that you expect it to be easy. You expect people to be kind, fair, predictable. You expect things to go your way because you believe you're the exception in a world of billions. You're not. The universe isn't your therapist. It doesn't care about your preferences, your plans, your comfort. It moves the way it moves. Your job is to adjust, not complain. But instead of adjusting, you try to micromanage destiny, the way a nervous parent micromanages a toddler. And it never works. The more you chase control, the more control slips away. Like trying to hold water with your hands. The tighter the grip, the emptier the palm. Marcus understood this. That's why he practiced the art of letting go long before Instagram turned it into a motivational quote. He didn't waste energy trying to fix what he couldn't influence. He didn't rewrite the past. He didn't bargain with the future. He simply said, "This is what's happening. Now what can I do? Not what would I prefer. Not who's to blame. Not why me. Just, what can I control right now?" Most people never ask that question. They ask the wrong ones. Why didn't things go my way? Why do people treat me like this? Why is life unfair? Congratulations. You've just wasted another hour complaining about an unwinnable battle. Marcus wasn't wise because he had answers. He was wise because he asked the right questions. You think control is power. It's not. Control is a fantasy. The real power is acceptance. Not the soft, defeatist kind you post about online, but the brutal, disciplined acceptance that says, "I will face whatever comes, and I'll remain unmoved." That's strength. That's peace. That's what you keep running from. And until you stop trying to control what doesn't belong to you, you will remain a prisoner, not of the world, but of your own expectations. You ever notice how humans have this adorable little habit of holding on to things that are already gone? People, moments, relationships, identities, illusions. It's like clinging to the ashes of a fire and being shocked that they don't keep you warm. Marcus Aurelius, the guy who lost children, friends, cities, battles, and still woke up every morning to govern an empire, had one simple message for you. If it's not in your control, let it go. Immediately. But no, of course not. You treat emotional attachment like a full-time job. Someone walked out of your life 3 years ago. You're still there, emotionally feeding their ghost like it's a houseplant. Someone dice, que neo, te query amaze. You're still on chapter 6 of Why Wasn't I Enough? Someone te tratu mal, sumiu, voltu, sumi de novo. You keep calling it connection when it's actually just your self-respect on life support. Let's be brutally honest for a second. And don't worry, I'll talk slow so the truth doesn't scare you away. You're not suffering because you lost someone. You're suffering because you don't know who you are without belonging to someone. Attachment creates amnesia. You forget your worth. You forget your standards. You forget your life. Everything becomes, maybe if I try harder, maybe if I change, maybe if I'm more patient. No, maybe if they cared, you wouldn't have to beg for basic respect. Marcus Aurelius would have watched your emotional circus for 30 seconds and said, "Why are you attached to what does not belong to you anymore?" Then he'd go back to fighting a literal plague. Meanwhile, you're fighting the urge to check someone's last scene on WhatsApp. You call it love. Let's be honest, most of the time, it's fear. Fear of starting again. Fear of being alone with your own thoughts. Fear of discovering that the person you miss was just a distraction from yourself. Here's the thing nobody tells you because everybody is busy being polite. Holding on to people who don't choose you is emotional self-harm. And guess who's holding the knife? You are. Every time you send that just checking in text, cut. Every time you replay the old memories like a Spotify playlist, cut. Every time you hope they'll magically turn into the person you imagined, cut. Your heart is not bleeding because they left. It's bleeding because you refuse to stop reopening the wound. Let me give you a truth so sharp it could slice through your denial. If someone can walk away from you, you're supposed to. Not because you're unworthy, but because your story doesn't need characters who don't want to be in it. You're not a prison guard. Stop trying to keep people locked inside your life. You're not a gravekeeper. Stop trying to resurrect what already died. And you're definitely not Marcus Aurelius. So stop pretending you're strong enough to carry emotional corpses on your back. Attachment is the chain. Detachment is the key. And freedom? Freedom is that first silent moment when you finally admit, I don't need you to be whole, because whole is what you are underneath the noise, underneath the fear, underneath the stories you tell yourself about what you think you lost. You didn't lose anything. You just finally waking up. Let's talk about discipline. That thing you swear you struggle with as if it were some rare neurological condition and not simply you refusing to do what you said you would. You keep waiting for motivation like it's a delivery service. Like one day the universe vibe or not to a porta e dizzer. Hello, here is your motivation package. Use it wisely. Spoiler, nobody is coming. Not the universe. Not your future self. Not Marco Aurelius rising from the dead to slap the procrastination out of you. The truth you don't want to hear is this. You don't lack motivation. You lack the courage to be uncomfortable. Because that's what discipline actually is. The ability to walk straight into discomfort without crying about it. You say you want to change your life. Great. But every time the alarm rings, you negotiate like a corrupt politician. Just more 5 minutes. I'll start tomorrow. I'm tired. I deserve a break. My sign isn't aligned with my productivity today. Please. Marcus Aurelius woke up every day to govern an empire, face plagues, lead armies, survive betrayal, bury his children, and write philosophy. And you can't wake up because your room is too cold? The problem isn't your situation. It's the softness you developed while trying to live a comfortable life. Let's cut the polite nonsense. You want results without friction, growth without effort, success without sacrifice, strength without resistance. You want the life of a warrior with the habits of a houseplant. And life doesn't work like that. You want discipline? Here's the secret nobody wants because it sounds boring. Do it even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. You're not supposed to be inspired every day. You're supposed to show up. Inspiration is a luxury. Consistency is survival. Your future self is watching you right now like, so are we doing this or not? Because that version of you, the stronger one, the stable one, the disciplined one, doesn't appear out of nowhere. You build them, brick by brick, decision by decision, sacrifice by sacrifice. Let me give you a real punchline. Your life is the sum of the things you do when nobody's watching. Not the dreams you talk about, not the plans you announce, not the versions of yourself you fantasize about at night. The actions, the habits, the boring routines, the quiet discipline. That's what shapes you. Think of it like this. Every time you delay what you need to do, you're sending a message to your brain. I don't trust myself. And every time you do what you promised, even when it sucks, even when you hate it, you send a message back. I'm someone who keeps my word. That's how self-respect is built. Not through affirmations, not through comfort, not through waiting for the planets to align. Through action. You want self-love? Earn it by doing the hard things, by doing them repeatedly, by doing them especially when your feelings complain. Here's the part that's really going to sting. Discipline is not punishment. It's self-renovation. It's you looking at yourself and saying, I refuse to live this same version of me for another year. Discipline is freedom disguised as effort. Because once you train your mind to act without waiting for the perfect mood, you become unstoppable. So next time your brain whispers, I'm not in the mood, whisper back, I'm not asking for your permission. Because in the end, your life won't change when you feel ready. It will change when you stop giving your feelings control over your destiny. Welcome to discipline. It's not pretty, but it works. Let's talk about laziness. That sneaky little parasite that convinces you you're tired, when in reality you're just unfocused, unchallenged, and undisciplined. Yeah, I said it. Because here's the truth nobody wants to admit. You're not lazy. You're comfortable. And comfort breeds softness. Soft mindset. Soft habits. Soft life. You know that I'll do it later voice in your head? The one that sounds innocent, sweet, understanding. Yeah, that voice is literally ruining your life. It's like having a toxic friend who always whispers, bro, relax, you can start tomorrow. And tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. And next month becomes, why is my life not changing? Laziness isn't just a habit. It's a lifestyle that slowly makes you allergic to effort. Here's the sarcastic truth bomb you signed up for. If laziness were a job, Some people would be millionaires. You know exactly what you should be doing, but you wait for motivation as if it's some divine force that descends from the sky. Let me break your heart real quick. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. And laziness is the enemy standing between the two. People say, I can't start, I'm not in the mood. Buddy, brushing your teeth also has a mood, but you still do it. Not because you feel like it, but because you don't want your breath to kill someone. Same logic applies to your goals. You don't need motivation. You need standards. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, enough of this average nonsense. Because laziness is expensive. It costs you energy. It costs you confidence. It costs you opportunities. It costs you years. And guess what? The longer you feed it, the stronger it gets. Laziness is like a stray cat. Give it food once, and it never leaves. You want to cure laziness? Here's the unfiltered formula. Do what you don't want to do. That's where growth hides. Start before you feel ready. Spoiler, you'll never feel ready. Set tiny goals and destroy them daily. Momentum, motivation. Stop negotiating with your excuses. Excuses are professional liars. Act fast. Think later. Your brain will talk you out of everything if you let it. Your future self is waiting. Your potential is waiting. Your dream life is waiting. But laziness? Laziness wants you right where you are. Comfortable, stagnant, and slowly sinking. Don't let it win. Let's be brutally honest for a second. Overthinking is just fear, wearing a suit and pretending to be logic. You call it, I'm just analyzing. You call it, I'm playing it safe. You call it, I'm thinking ahead. No, you're paralyzed. You're stuck in your own mental traffic jam. One you created, by the way. Overthinking is like running a marathon in your head, while your real life stays exactly the same. You plan, you imagine, you calculate, you rehearse every possible outcome, and then you do absolutely nothing. It's impressive, honestly, the amount of energy people spend thinking instead of doing. If overthinking burned calories, some of you will be shredded by now. Here's the sarcastic truth nobody tells you. Overthinking gives you the illusion of control, while making sure you don't actually move. It's a trap, a mental prison, a slow death disguised as being careful. And the worst part? You already know the answer. You already know what you should be doing. But you keep asking your brain for permission, as if your doubts are smarter than your potential. News flash. Your doubts don't know anything. They've never achieved anything. They're just loud. Overthinking convinces you that every tiny decision is life or death. Should I start? What if I fail? What if it goes wrong? What if they judge me? What if I'm not good enough? Here's a better question. What if you're wasting your entire life thinking instead of living? Let that one sit for a moment. The truth is simple. You don't need more thinking. You need more action. You need more imperfect attempts. You need more messy beginnings. Because clarity comes from movement, not mental gymnastics. Every great thing you want is on the other side of one tiny step, but overthinking convinces you the step is a mountain. Here's the cure, and you're not going to like it. Act faster than your doubts can speak. Your brain is slow. Use that. Stop chasing the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. Say screw it and start anyway. Messy action beats perfect inaction. Make decisions quickly. Overthinking is just delayed failure. Trust yourself once in your life. You deserve to see what happens when you actually try. Because here's the final slap. Overthinking doesn't protect you. It prevents you. It prevents growth. It prevents confidence. It prevents opportunity. It prevents the life you could be living. You're not tired. You're mentally spinning. You're not confused. You're avoiding action. You're not stuck. You're overthinking your way into paralysis. Enough. Do the thing. Start the project. Send a message. Take the first step. Move. Your future self is begging you to stop living inside your head and finally start living in the real world. You ever notice how you start things like a champion and finish like a ghost? Yeah, you have Olympic-level enthusiasm for exactly 3 days, and then silence. You disappear. The gym misses you. Your goals miss you. Hell, even your potential is standing outside your door like, bro, you alive? Let's be honest. You don't have a discipline problem. You have a story problem. You keep telling yourself the same tired story. I'll start tomorrow. I'll be consistent this time. I just need motivation. I swear I'm serious now. You've said those lines so many times they should pay you royalties. The truth? You don't stick to things because you're obsessed with the idea of a new life, but allergic to the process that builds it. You love the fantasy version of you, the productive you, the shredded you, the successful you, the you who finally got your life together. You're in love with the trailer of your life, not the full movie. Because the trailer has the dramatic music, the cool montage, the transformation arc. But the actual movie? It's slow, it's repetitive, it's boring. It's you doing the same thing every day when no one's watching, no one's clapping, and no one cares. Most people quit not because things are hard, but because things are not interesting enough. Your brain is addicted to dopamine fireworks, but discipline is a quiet candle. And you hate quiet. That's why you jump from idea to idea. New goal, new habit, new system, new planner. New this time I'm serious. It feels productive, but it's just procrastination wearing a fake mustache. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't stick to anything because quitting has never cost you enough. Every time you give up, nothing horrible happens. Your life stays the same. Comfortable, predictable, mediocre, but safely mediocre. And let's be honest, mediocrity feels good in small doses. Soft pillows, warm routines, no pressure, no expectations, just vibes and denial. But something inside you knows this isn't it. You feel it late at night when you're lying on your phone, scrolling past people actually doing the things you said you'd do. You feel it in your chest, that heavy, sinking, humiliating sensation of, I could be so far ahead if I just stuck to something. But you didn't, because sticking to something requires you to kill who you are now, to make space for who you could become. And self-destruction is painful, even when it's for growth. So how do you break the cycle? You stop chasing feelings and you start chasing identity. You don't become consistent by forcing habits. You become consistent by becoming the type of person who doesn't negotiate with their future. Consistency is a personality, not an event. You stop saying, I want to work out, and you start saying, I'm the kind of person who trains. You stop saying, I want to read more, and you start saying, I'm the kind of person who learns. You stop asking, how do I stay motivated? And you start asking, how do I stop behaving like my own enemy? It's not about doing big things. It's about doing small things violently consistently until they stack so high they look like magic. You break the cycle when you stop expecting excitement and start respecting repetition. You break the cycle when you stop waiting for the perfect moment and start moving in the worst one. You break the cycle when you stop flirting with your potential and finally commit to it. Because here's the truth you avoid the most. You can become whoever you want. You're just not willing, yet, to pay the boring price. But the day you decide that your future matters more than your comfort, that's the day you stop quitting. That's the day you finally stick to something. And that's the day your life actually begins.